This week on the Hawkeye Sports Report, the football team packs up and takes a road trip to West Des Moines for spring practice. Hear what Hawkeye fans in Central Iowa had to say about the Hawks making an appearance in the capital city. And it was a nail-biting finish for the men's golf team as they hosted their only spring event of the year over the weekend. And the baseball and softball teams are in the middle of their seasons with all kinds of action on the diamonds. That and much more straight ahead on this week's Hawkeye Sports Report. Welcome to the Hawkeye Sports Report. I'm Nick Dorman. The Iowa spring football game is a little over a week away, but Iowa fans had a chance to check out the Hawkeyes on Sunday. Iowa loaded the truck and practiced in West Des Moines. The first time Coach Ferentz and company have done this, and despite clouds and some rain, the fans in Central Iowa were happy to see the Hawks in Des Moines.
It's great to have the Hawkeyes in Des Moines today because we won't be able to make the spring game, so it'll be nice to get a glimpse of the team for getting excited for the football season in the fall. So nice to have them here in West Des Moines, and hope that maybe they'll make this a recurring theme for those of us in Central Iowa.
Well, I think it's a great idea. It's a great PR move, so Western and Central Iowa fans can come see a practice without having to go clear over to Iowa City.
This is awesome where the Hawks can come to Des Moines, the mothership, can kind of go over and see the people that want to know what's going on with the Hawks. Look at how many people are here braving some of this wind and some of this rain. It absolutely means a lot to everyone. So
it's really great to have the Hawkeyes come to the Valley Stadium. We've had 4 children that attend Valley. We've got a current junior in high school, and he plays football. So it's really fun to see the Hawkeyes come to our stadium and to see them in uniform here in their practice jerseys.
I think it's a great way to give back to the other communities that might not get to see the Hawkeyes as much, and a perfect opportunity for the kids to get to show off their abilities elsewhere.
It's amazing because I love them so much. So cool.
It was definitely a great experience. Talk with my coaches, talk with my family, seeing my family. It was also a good experience sharing this with my current teammates, and just kind of showing them where it all started for me, and I hope they appreciate it as much as I did.
I got a lot of relatives here, so it was cool just to come out here and practice out here. It's a new experience, so I liked it.
We got the best fans in the country, I believe. They always come out, support us, our ups and downs. They always here for us, and it was a great crowd. I believe it was over probably about 10,000, I would assume, and they're very loyal to us, and we're just trying to give them a good show.
This week, the line coaches both met with the media. Here's a little bit of what Reese Morgan and Brian Ferentz had to say on Wednesday.
They're coming along. We have a long way to go. And you're coaching every player throughout spring football. You're not just focusing in on and you're not getting ready for an opponent other than playing our team and so forth. But it's been great. I value and appreciate Eric Johnson, who helps out. He does a tremendous job, and we work together well as a team, and we're excited to get going with the guys we have. We do have a lot of work to go, as many of you see when you come and watch us perform. But I'm really excited about this, the rest of the spring, and certainly about this fall.
Reese, as far as defensive line goes, where does pressuring the quarterback rank as far as importance?
I think that's my wife would say that's pretty darn important. I think I think that's really important. I think that's going to be a big focus for us. When you're playing the defense that we play, there's certain liabilities there are in a pass rush in that, because we're playing heavy techniques and so forth. So when we get the green light to go ahead with pass rush, we've got to be able to get there, and certainly that's an area, statistically we have to improve upon, technique-wise, fundamentals, emphasis-wise.
Are you seeing that your offense could be different with everyone healthy than dealing with a lot of injuries last year?
I think anytime you have injuries, there's certainly going to be a drop-off in play. Although that's not what any of us want, that's not what we're looking for. And, right now we are fortunate. Everybody is healthy and practicing, but I think what happened last year is not unique. It's not unusual. Injuries are part of football. I think the goal for us is to build the kind of depth to be able to play with that kind of consistency and not see a performance decline when you suffer injuries. So we're fortunate right now to have everybody in the group healthy, with the exception of Nolan. You know, everybody's working, and that's a good thing. But I think what we need to understand is what we're dealing with right now, where we have 5 healthy guys. That's not going to be the case probably in November, unfortunately. That's just the business we're in.
Iowa's final spring practice is Saturday, April 27th at 2 p.m. in Kinnick Stadium. The men's golf team gets one home event a year in the spring. They hosted 11 teams Saturday and Sunday in the Great River Entertainment Invitational. Iowa made a furious comeback on the final day, but came up just 1 stroke short, finishing second to Kansas. Despite the heartbreaking finish, junior Stephen Ime shared medalist honors with Jayhawk Chris Gilbert.
University of Iowa. I thought that we really had a legitimate shot of getting that done, and you know, we still need to learn how to continue to make birdies out there. I think in team golf, I talk to these guys all the time about you just never know where we're at, and if you're the guy that's playing well or playing hot, just keep making birdies. You know, you can't ever put on the brakes, and you know, we came up 1 short today. A lot of credit to Kansas. They made some clutch putts down the stretch, and you know, we put as much pressure on them as we could, and came up 1 short.
First of all, let's talk about the round you had today, and how do you feel about the time for medalist honors here?
I'm very honored to be medalist. I played pretty well today, and you know, it just turned out very well for me.
Is this a team that should challenge for the Big Ten title?
I think so, definitely. You know, we're as good as anybody. We can compete, and I think that definitely was proven this weekend.
Men's golf is in action this week at the Boilermaker Invitational. The following week, it's time for the Big Ten Championships in French Lick, Indiana. The women's golf team is at the Lady Buckeye Spring Invite in Columbus this week. The women are also in French Lick for the Big Ten's April 26th through the 28th. Last weekend, the track teams combined for 14 first-place finishes in Macomb, Illinois. This weekend, it will be a busy Saturday at the Kretzmeyer track as the annual Musco Twilight meet will be held in Iowa City. Field events for the annual Musco Twilight meet start in the afternoon. Track events start at 6 p.m. One Hawkeye to watch is freshman jumper Clivens Delani.
About my first year in track, I made it to about the state championships, which in California is one of the hardest things to do with so many divisions. So I decided that, wow, it must be a really good choice for me. And then my senior year in high school, I started getting a lot of offers, finishing one of the top 2 in the country for juniors and coming in as one of the top favorites as my senior year. So a lot of schools started contacting me, and I realized that my best option would probably be to run track in college.
We started kind of, looking at, some of the better triple jumpers, long jumper, combo kids in the nation, and, he popped up on the radar, and, at that time we started kind of building a relationship. I think we brought him in for our official visit, maybe sometime in April. He seemed to like it at that time, and then obviously, I guess the rest is history. He decided that Iowa was going to be the place for him.
One thing my mom always stressed was never think anything is too far. And she always encouraged us to branch out including my sisters, went to Kentucky and Rhode Island, so we all branched out. And I always wanted to leave, go to the East Coast or the Midwest, since I hadn't really spent too much time there. So I was one of the first schools to recruit me. And I gave it a little thought, not too much, but as the years progressed, I built a great relationship with Coach Roberts, and I decided that it was the best decision for me, since I knew I had a lot of great jumpers here before. I mean, growing up, I was always told to be confident, because confidence is key. If you believe in yourself and you believe what you can do, then all levels will be surpassed. So I believe that I am very confident in my strength, in my competing, in my training, and all my competition. So I know that I'm a competitor and I love to win, and that I'll do anything to win at these stakes.
You know, confidence is everything. I think he's got the ability to jump pretty far. You know, how far that is, you know, I can't read the future. You know, I just know that he's got the potential to be, you know, one of the best kids nationally in both long and triple. You know, I know a lot of people know him as a triple jumper, but I think he's got a huge upside in the long jump also.
The Iowa baseball team hosted Kansas State this past weekend. The Wildcats came into the weekend as the 4th highest team in the nation in batting average. The Hawks won the opener before dropping the next 2. Tuesday, Iowa traveled across the Missouri River to the Omaha area to take on the Mavericks of UNO. Brent Balbinot had the radio call.
Really up in front. As this one, a swing and a miss on a pitch in the dirt. Brand makes the tag. They got it as he pulls a string on him. 1-2. Matthew shakes off. Likes this one. High tight leg kick deals. Got him swinging. Ran him under the fists again. Strike 3.
In the lineup, ready to throw.
Tight leg kick brings a slider. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
Yeah, you know, it was a great job. He came out and he was throwing, 3 pitches for strikes. He attacked the strike zone, and that was good to see. And he was out there pitching with a lot of confidence too, which was good to see from him.
I was really comfortable on the mound today, as you could probably tell. I mean, just like I said earlier, all my pitches I could throw for strikes today, and I was struggling earlier in the year with my curveball, getting across the plate and throwing strikes with it.
Farther here, he's only about a foot in front of the bag, and now a great push bunt up the first base side, and falling down, Buckley unable to field it. A great jump out of the box by Rossetti, and Buckley trying to barehand. Payoff pitch. Buckley deals inside, ball 4. And we'll do it again for the 3rd time, a 3-2 pitch. Buckley from the letters, leaning way back on that foot. Both runners going. This one a liner into left field. Base hit. Rounding 3rd and coming home to score is Rossetti. This one will go all the way to the corner. Tool being waved around 3rd. He will score. Standing up into 2nd base and putting his hands together, Chris Goodman with a clutch 2 RBI double, and Iowa takes an early 2-0 lead.
And that's why you start the runners. I don't know that Tool would have scored on that.
We always talk about picking each other up, and that was a moment when I just got a good pitch to hit and was able to drive it.
Kenyon hit by a pitch and struck out looking. First pitch swinging, a ground ball in the left field. Are they going to get aggressive? Nope, they're going to hold up Goodman. Originally, he came chugging around the throw. As this one a shot past the diving Messenger and into right field. Goodman will come home to score. Kenyon will be held up at 3rd, give him a hit, and give him another RBI. As this one, a slow roller up the first base side. Kenyon's got it. Oh, and there's a collision at first as he runs across the bat. Important for Taylor to stay within himself here. The 1-2. Got him swinging on a changeup. First base is occupied, so he's automatically out. And that is a huge strikeout for Taylor Kaufman and the Iowa Hawkeyes. The 0-2. Reaching out, little humpback liner. Nice grab by Rossetti at short. Boy, he had to short step that ball. It was about 3 feet on the outfield grass and timed his leap perfectly.
And the Storm Chasers tonight.
I think so. This one a ground ball to 2nd. Pops up, but Mangler stays on it. Flips to Kenyon, and that's the ball game. Hawkeye pitching, with the exception of one inning, dominant here this afternoon. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. Final score, Iowa 3, Nebraska-Omaha nothing.
This weekend, Iowa baseball travels to last place Penn State, a critical 3-game stretch if Iowa is going to start climbing the Big Ten ladder. Softball had a productive weekend, taking 2 of 3 at Northwestern. Sophomore Megan Blank was the Big Ten's Player of the Week after 14 plate appearances and no recorded outs. Iowa was set to host 11th-ranked Missouri Wednesday, however those games were washed out. A big series this weekend on the road at Michigan. Coming up, Michigan is ranked 9th in the nation and leads the Big Ten. Friday's game is available on BTN.com. Sunday's game is on the Big Ten Network. The Iowa men's tennis team had a rough weekend, dropping home matches to Michigan State and Michigan. The Hawks close out the regular season this week, hosting Wisconsin Friday at 1 p.m. before a road tilt at Minnesota on Sunday. One of the Hawks who has been solid this year is junior Jonas Dirks. Dirks comes all the way to Iowa City from Belgium.
Yeah, Yoni, good serve.
I was 9 years old. I didn't really play sport before that. A good friend of mine played tennis, so that's how I got inspired, basically.
I mean, he's had a really good year, and I think his whole career has been one of progression from freshman to junior. Done real well in singles, done real well in doubles, done very well in school. I mean, he just kind of has the whole package, really. A lot of the overseas recruiting is really done through the internet, either by email or whatever. And then we see videos, that type of thing, and didn't really meet him, but just did a lot of the work through talking on the phone and emails and all that. And but along with that, there are people that run operations over there. They're not exactly, well, they're sort of talent scouts in a way, and sort of got his name that way, and then stayed in touch with that person, you know, who knew his game very well and was convinced from him, who was a former Ohio State player, that, yeah, this guy's really good, he'll be a very good Big Ten player. And that in combination with the video and his results.
We start learning English in Belgium when we're about 14 years old, or even later than that. So it only took me a few months to pick that up, so that wasn't a big issue, but at the beginning it was hard. The first year was tough because it was away from home. I was homesick a little bit, but then after that it went so fast. Like the past 2 years have just flown by.
And I think he'd be the first to admit that he struggled some tennis-wise, but we saw right away that, yeah, this guy's got all the tools to be a really good player. And then I think toward the end of that year, it really improved quite a bit and got some confidence in terms of playing in college matches. But then, to his credit, he's always been somebody that when he goes home over the summers plays a lot. You know, just doesn't just kind of go through the motions, but really plays a lot of hard tournaments against very good competition. I think he'd be the first to say that the summer activities have really paid off for him. He's come back all the stronger. The natural progression, and he's certainly capable of doing this, would be to, you know, continue to play number one his last year, his senior year. But along with that, I mean, he's very capable of being, in terms of, I should say, honors, being all Big Ten type guy. Could even be in the running for that this year. But then along with that, I mean, he's got a legitimate chance to make it to NCAAs.
Obviously, I want to have a really good record next year. I want to try to make the NCAAs. That would be a big deal for me. Yeah.
In women's tennis, the team won a 4-3 contest at Michigan State last week before dropping a duel with Michigan. The Hawks close out the regular season with a road trip to Wisconsin and a home contest Sunday at 11 a.m. against Minnesota. The Iowa men's gymnastics team participates in the NCAA championships at Penn State. 2 weeks ago, Javier Balboa won the Big Ten championship on rings. Broderick Szymanski was also named first team all-conference. Having its spring event at Lake McBride called off last week due to high winds, the women's rowing team plans to be back on the water in Bloomington, Indiana this weekend. That's all for this edition of the Hawkeye Sports Report. Thanks for watching, and as always, visit HawkeyeSports.com for complete highlights, results, and schedule updates. Until next time, so long.